Welcome back. We're here playing some Phasmophobia today. We're going to be doing an entire beginner's guide. So I'll give you an entire introduction to the game and how it looks when you first join in and what you're given to start playing the game on, because it's not a lot. As you can see on the side here, we do not have a lot of stuff, less than half the items. This is going to be some live gameplay, so I will be interacting with the chat while I play. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you enjoy, or if you have any questions about any mechanics in the game that I didn't explain. Of course, there's a lot of stuff that I won't be able to get to. There's a lot in this game that is complicated, which is what makes it a great game. So, to start off, I have, which you won't have access to this to start, but you will have access to base amateur mode. So you can't see the specific settings on it right away, but essentially it's the easiest way to play the game. But I changed it a little bit for the sake of this video. I have an amateur custom preset, and I just turn off that setup timer because honestly, for me, it makes the game harder. Once you get customs unlocked, feel free to do that. Mess around. Like, amateur is the easiest way, but that setup timer is like false security if you do any of the things that I do in the game. So, you're going to want to select, you'll only have one map available when you start, and that is Tanglewood, and you'll only have these items. So, I'm going to bring all of the other items just to show you guys how they work, and I don't want to have to go into a whole different game to show that. So, let's get right into the first one.
Alright, we're here. Take a look at the equipment and prepare accordingly before starting the investigation.
Alright, so when you start, you'll have a 5-minute countdown timer, and that's just guaranteeing the ghost will not hunt during those 5 minutes. When you're at 100% sanity, which is always what you'll start at as long as you're playing on amateur, intermediate, or professional, you'll always start at 100%. The ghost won't hunt you anyways unless it's a demon, or a mimic being a demon. Here is our journal. You have info about every single ghost here, explanations about your sanity, about some of the tools that you have. Cursed possessions, we'll get to that, but let's get to the ghosts. You have a whole list of ghosts here. If you're ever curious about them, you can click on their page, and some of the words in here are just like flavor text. They don't really mean anything, but for example, Mylings more frequently make paranormal sounds. That's not something that can really identify a Myling. That's something that's just a habit of theirs. Some Mylings can be quieter and some Mylings can be louder than others, and some ghosts can be more active on the paramic. It happens. No ghost is exactly the same between different games. It's just like a trend standard. It's in the coding, technically. When threatened, this ghost will be less likely to hunt is an Onryo thing that doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. The only thing about the Onryo is that it does not like fire, so it can't light a candle, and all of these things are on the Phasmophobia wiki, which is going to be linked in the description, of course, as well as our Phasmophobia cheat sheet, my favorite thing to use. It allows you to listen to all of the ghost speeds. It allows you to select whether or not your ghost is fast or slow or normal, and select the sanity that you were hunted at. So if you were above 50%, you can select that. Or if it didn't even hunt you until like 40 or 30%, you can select that too, and it helps narrow down your ghost. So, without any further ado, let's get into the items. The beginner items that you get are almost all on this wall, I believe. These are all of our, what they call, evidence items. So, I always go in first with a thermo, an EMF, and a video cam. Now, everybody prefers something different. Sometimes people take the photo cam instead of the video cam to take a picture of the bone while they're looking for the ghost room. Some people like to take the spirit box and walk around in the dark and see if the ghost talks back to them. Some people like the video cam to find ghost orbs to find the ghost room. And then lastly, some people like to just start with a flashlight or start with the UV because that helps you see where you're going. And the UV, actually, if a ghost touches a door, then you can instantly see if that ghost has ultraviolet or not. So you can see all of these evidences here. Those all correlate with these items on this wall, except for the flashlight and the photo cam. So every single one of these can give you a piece of evidence. Let's get right into the house here. You have to pick up the key at the door and press this with your left click to open the truck. You'll always have this board here with some objectives to do, and you don't have to do them to, like, beat the round, but it's always good to do them just to get some extra money so that you get more items for the next round. Because as you remember, before I enabled my loadout, I had nothing. There was literally nothing in my truck. So you need your money to buy stuff. Now, basic controls you'll figure out in your control panel. You have tons of options that you're going to want to fiddle with. You definitely want to change your video brightness to like 250. Highest you can possibly go, you want to change your brightness. That's the #1 problem that I had with this game, is that I couldn't see. You just can't see if your brightness isn't up. A lot of these things are just personal preference. Like, I love the skylight because it lights up the houses that are nearby. Like that side wall, if I turn off skylight, looks super dumb. You can't see anything. So I love skylight just for the atmosphere. The moon looks like it's shining on the house. Shadow resolution's also high and soft. I turn off all of these because all of these kind of change or warp the game a little bit depending on what you're looking at. I don't really like that. It makes me a little disoriented. And same thing with the bobbing. Head bob. I turn that off. And all these other things. Celsius is just easier to find freezing temps for that evidence, because freezing temps is anything below 1 degree Celsius. So not 1.0, but below 1.0, like 0.9. Once it goes to 0 point something, you know the ghost will be freezing. The first thing I'm looking for when I enter the house is any sort of drop on this thermometer. Now, outside is actually a little bit colder than inside. I believe this heavy rain is like 10 degrees. So inside the house should be hovering around 20 almost always. Let's see here. We gotta keep our lights on. You can flick these light switches with your left click. Keep lights on to keep your sanity high so that the ghost doesn't hunt you right away. The longer you sit in the dark, the worse time you're gonna have if you're starting out. Now it looks like we're at 20 degrees Celsius. We are not finding a ghost over here. Once the thermo drops below or like at 20, you can almost guarantee you are at or near the ghost room. Because even when the ghost isn't in the room that you're in, let's say like the ghost is over here, you see how my thermo immediately started dropping? That's how you find where the ghost room is. Now, it's not this hallway. Ooh, and we heard a door squeak. It's either the living... Oh, that's some activity. It's either this living room or it's the room next to it. Because it did touch this door over here. There are no doors in the living room, but it did touch this door. Now, I do think it's the living room because of how cold that was. You can left click on this controller to turn that TV back off if it's annoying you. But it's almost guaranteed that you found the ghost room if there's a drop in 5 degrees. When the breaker starts on, which the breaker is a whole nother mechanic, the house starts a lot warmer. So let's go find our breaker. There's a little map in the truck that tells you where the breaker is, but in this house it's in one of two places. This time it is in the basement. You can swing this door open and then you'll click on this to turn it on. We can also turn it off to test for certain ghost things, but we don't need that today. So the breaker is down there. Yellow. That just means the ghost is in the room. When the breaker starts on, the house is warm. So finding the ghost room is a little bit harder to start off, but this room is slowly cooling off because the ghost room is always much, much colder than the other rooms and slowly gets colder as the game goes on. If you have a freezing temperatures ghost, this will go below 0. Now, you can guarantee it will go below 0 as long as it hits below the 1 degree line. This thermo is kind of hard to read that on. You have to look really closely at those little ticks and try to find it. And also, another indicator of the ghost room after the point where the ghost room hits like 5 degrees, so maybe 2 or 3 minutes into the game, if the breaker starts on, you see your breath as soon as you walk into the room. Yeah, it's shaking those doors over here. So let's test our EMF on that door. Hello, Bridget Becker. How's it going? We had a tiny bit of EMF, but oh, it was this door. Your EMF can help figure out what door the ghost touched. So it was this one here. Any door that a ghost touches has the chance, if the ghost is a fingerprints ghost, has the chance to leave some fingerprints. So we're gonna go grab our ultraviolet, which the tier 1 is a flashlight. These are all tier 1 items just to show you guys how everything originally is. I'm just gonna grab a couple things. So those fingerprints will last 2 minutes on the door that they touched. Oh, here we are. We do have ultraviolet. I like to call it fingerprints, but ultraviolet. A fun thing you can do with this is, let me keep my sanity good. You can hold the UV light on it for quite a while, and then swap to your camera and take a picture. So now we have a little picture of fingerprints. You can gather media. Media is a whole separate thing that just gives you more money. You can gather media to get some money in addition to finding the ghost. So little things like that, getting a fingerprints picture. You can only get one of each picture to get the most amount of money, but that fingerprints picture was so free, so I might as well. This photo cam, you just right click to take a picture of your bone. The bone can be anywhere in the map. For some reason, I always get the bone in the ghost room. It's not always, but a lot of the time, I seem to get the bone in the ghost room, which happened just then. Another thing you want to look for every single time you play is ghost orbs. So ghost orbs can only be seen when you use your night vision. And you can see it when you turn the lights off. Now you can also take a video of the ghost orbs through the video cam, but it looks like we don't have them today. If you did, you can right click and hold with your video cam. Oh my goodness. Holy moly, did it just throw something in here? I'm not even sure. You right click to hold to gather video evidence then. Excuse me? That's a light break event? Or not? Okay, we got a little bit of EMF, which you can also take a picture of. That was EMF 4, not EMF 5. If you get... Ooh! Was that EMF 5? I think that was EMF 5. We're gonna double check that with something else later, but EMF 5 is another form of evidence. So we have a couple evidence items. Let's grab some more and try to figure out the ghost type here. Another thing to note is right at the front door, there's always going to be, at least for the houses that have a garage, there's going to be a set of car keys, and you should always bring those car keys in, or like click on those car keys that are right by the front door there, just because if you have a garage ghost and they set off the car, it's so annoying. Just stop. You can left click on the car if you have the keys, but if you don't have the keys, you just have to listen to it until you run to grab them. I'm grabbing the spirit box, the writing book, and I'm grabbing the sound sensor over here. That's a new form of media with the Chronicle update. So I'll explain that to you in just a moment when we get in. So the keys are right here, but I already picked them up. The spirit box can only be done when you are alone in the ghost room with the lights off and the ghost is in the room at the time. So sometimes you have to try it a few times, and you have to ask very clear questions that make sense to ask a ghost. Are you here? Are you close? Are you near? Are you far? Where are you? Hello? And I am gonna double check that the ghost room is still here because it seems to be wandering between these two rooms. So let me make sure. You see our breath here? Our breath usually means that the ghost is still here, so it is safe to keep trying some spirit box. The ghost should still be in this room. Are you here? Are you near? Are you far? Where are you? Give me a sign. Oh, it turned off the breaker. Okay. The ghost can turn off the breaker, except for one ghost. One ghost cannot. Just as long as we found our breaker earlier, we can turn that boy back on. He definitely gave us a sign. Let's see what else we have here. This is our new sound recorder, so you right-click to turn it on, and if there are any sounds nearby, these bars on the right side of it will light up, and you can wander around to get closer to the sound, and then you, ooh, like this. You wander around to see when it gets louder, which might just be in the kitchen, or in the basement. Where is the sound? Maybe it's in this room. I can't even get close enough to it. Here we go. And you hold down your right click to try to record, but I don't think I got close enough to it. I may not have gotten anything. Ooh, I did! So even though we didn't hear it... That was creepy. Stop. Even though we couldn't hear it, just because I wasn't close enough to hear it myself, that didn't mean that I wouldn't get it. And on the Tier 2 and Tier 3 sound recorders, you can actually see a little icon pop up when you record a sound. So, oh, our ghost is still in this room now, so let me try Spirit Box one more time. Are you here? Are you near? Are you far? Where are you? Since we've asked a couple times, I don't think this ghost has Spirit Box. Let's put down our writing book. Anytime you have a item like this that you need to place on the ground, our default button for that is pressing F. So you crouch down with C and then you have to place it on the ground. You can't just throw it. That doesn't count as setting up the book. You have to set it with F. A lot of these other things you can just kind of throw on the ground, like the video cam and stuff. You can just throw it. Who cares? Double checking my temperatures to see if we have freezing temps, because a lot of this game is just finding out the ghost type. So we have ultraviolet, we possibly have EMF 5, so we're gonna have to test some other stuff that it touches. The EMF only lasts like 10 to 20 seconds when a ghost touches something, so you really have to check quickly, especially with this Tier 1, it's awful. You have to walk right up to whatever it touched. I haven't explained our lovely dots yet, because the Tier 1 dots is a little bit doo-doo. For dots, you'll see a ghost apparition, practically, like walk through these little green dots. You'll see a ghost walk through it, but the Tier 1 is so terribly bad. You have to place it with F, and then you move your mouse around on the mouse pad, and that's what spins it. You kind of just have to place it the best you can to try to cover some area. And another thing that you can do is turn off the lights in the room to try to get a little bit more Ooh, it wrote in the book. You can record it writing in the book. I believe I got that for 10. And you can also take a picture of ghostwriting. That's very low EMF. Let's see what we have for our evidence so far. We have no videos. Wait, was that a window tap? Window taps can have fingerprints, but I don't think it was a window tap. We have 4 pictures, so one more to complete the book. You see these stamps and the unique saying that all of these are different. That's the kind of stuff that you need to fill out, all unique items, to get a perfect game. And the perfect game is the best way, or perfect investigation is what they call it, is the best way to get the most money per run. I touched this door over here again. Now we can get a video of that, I believe. I wasn't fast enough. Excuse me? That was weird. I thought I heard like a weird squeak of some sort at the same time as it did that. You can also get a video, it's called Light Switched, for when they turn off a light. I haven't really gotten any ghost events except for one. And with ghost events, they always turn off the light in the room that they start the ghost event in. So something like, there's like a ghost event where they try to touch you. They could start it in that room and all the lights in the hallway will turn off, and then walk over here and it'll touch me even if these lights are on. They're not necessarily afraid of light, they just happen to turn the lights off when they do that. I think it touched this little hallway door. Yeah, no EMF 5 right now. I'd love to show you guys a ghost event as soon as one happens. Please. The camera, the photo cam, you don't even get until you're like level 2 or 3, and the sound sensor you don't get until a little later. So those you won't have right away, but oh, hey, misform. Heyo. The rest of the items you will have. Now that was a ghost event, although I was not ready for it. I was going out to grab more stuff. Every time you go out to the truck to grab more things, check your sanity. See what you're working with. Right now, the options that we have for ghosts are not very nice. I see Demon in here. If you guys remember what I said earlier, Demon is one of the few ghosts that can actually hunt you when you're at 100% sanity. Now they won't if you still have this setup timer like winding down, but now with me at this sanity, I could still get hunted by a demon. I could have been hunted by a demon at any point, frankly. But this is why I kind of brought every item. We have crucifixes to try to protect ourselves. So I'm gonna grab a crucifix as well as an incense and a candle. These unlock a little bit later. The salt is... Tier 1 salt's just so bad. I'll have to explain it later. I'm gonna take in our crucifix. And same thing as the ghostwriting book, you have to place the crucifix on the ground. I don't think you have to place it. I think if you drop it, it's still okay. But I feel safer when I place it. Now I always place a candle right next to the crucifix as well. That's just to test for certain ghosts and also to gather more evidence. You can get a video recording of a candle being blown out. You can get a sound recording of a candle being blown out. Unfortunately, we just lost the lights in our room, so I'm gonna grab a few more candles. That light breaking event means that the lights in the room that it happened no longer work. Sometimes it'll drain your sanity too, but it looks like it didn't this time. Let's grab a few more candles and our salt. I'm gonna keep holding this smudge stick. The smudge stick is your huge lifeline. Smudge sticks are very, very useful to keeping yourself alive. Oh, it looks like it blew out our candle right there. Let's light it again. Anytime you want to light your candle, you have to bring a matchbox or a lighter, whatever you have, whichever tier. You have to bring your matches, right click it in order to light one or turn it on, and then you press F on your candle. The other way is to pick up a candle, like I have right now, and you right-click your candle. As long as you have a lighter in your inventory, it works. So we're gonna try to get a video of these. These candles also reduce your sanity drain by quite a bit when you're in a dark room, so that's the reason I brought 2 of them, just to be safe. You can get a video of that. A video of that. And we are going to check our temp again. It looks like it's not going to be freezing. I'm going to... I don't think I got that. I want to try to get a sound recording of the fire extinguished. That would be our last sound recording that we need. If you can't tell, there are different values for these. Different values based on how hard they are to get. So fingerprints, if you have a fingerprint ghost, they're going to be leaving fingerprints everywhere. It's not hard to get fingerprints. But if there's a ghostwriting ghost, of course the value for a picture of that is 10. A video of it is 10 or 15. What did he just throw? A video of that is 10 or 15, and then a sound recording is 10. So, oh, object thrown, we can get a video of that. That sounds like EMF 5. We can actually get a sound recording of EMF 5, which I'll get instead of our fire extinguished, because I believe it's a 10 value. You just have to keep recording, keep holding it until it finishes like that. So that finished our recording here. That's awful, but it has a value of 10, so I will take it. We are getting very close to hunt range now, so we have to be a little bit careful and just kind of sit on our crucifix here. The crucifix's range is not so big. If you hold down F without actually placing it, you see that circle? Those little glowy lines on the floor? That's the range of our crucifix, so it is not the best. But if the ghost tries to hunt within that range, it will burn the crucifix instead of hunting. I'm gonna hold my video cam and my photo cam since I still need evidence of those, evidence of the ghost with those. I need one more photo and 2 videos. Now, one very, very good video is the hunting ghost video. And another good video would be a ghost event. You can get 4 different types of ghost videos. There's mist form, which is technically not a ghost photo, but, you know, or a ghost video, but it's very nice. Its value is 15. There's the shadow ghost, translucent ghost, and ghost. There's just ghost. So when you see, oh, object thrown, fire extinguished, I don't want any of those. If you get a ghost event and you see that the ghost is a different type than what you already have, definitely go for taking a video. And same thing with photos. You can get photos of all 4 of those as separate, unique photos. So always try to keep your video cam and your photo cam on you for the sake of ghost events. I'm really just waiting for my sanity to go down to get a hunt. And then in the hunt, I can show you guys how ghosts behave and how they aren't as scary as you really think they are. Games have been good. Heyo! That was a ghost event. We were safe with our crucifix here. That was just an event. There we go, burned crucifix. I do not want the fire extinguished. Thank you. So now we are not safe. You can also take a picture of the burned crucifix. I don't need my photo cam anymore, I believe. Now we are not safe. Our crucifix only has 1 charge. If you have the tier 2 or tier 3, they have 2 charges, but ours only has 1. So I'm gonna grab our second crucifix, and you only get 2, sadly. Grabbing our second crucifix, and I'm gonna walk it over to the kitchen. Anytime you feel unsafe, or you feel like, you know, the ghost could hunt you right away, hold your crucifix in your hands. It still can burn in your hands. Now this is the start of a hunt. You see the lights flashing. It looks like it's a child ghost. Yep, it's a child. So they blink like this. They'll slowly walk at you. Well, not really slowly. And they throw a bunch of stuff while they hunt. I think I smudged it. Kind of hard to talk while I'm hunting. Or, being hunted. They slowly walk at you, and if they grab you, you're dead, your game is over. So don't get grabbed, use your sprint to try to get away, and also crouching is technically faster than just walking. So when you're on like a kitchen island like this, you can actually block vision from the ghost and keep the ghost from getting to you that way. The ghost might wander off, they might forget where you are if you circle it enough times, so you can crouch and actually avoid a ghost that way. One mechanic that's a little hard to consider when you're trying to figure out the ghost is line of sight speed. So, yes, as Verlest is saying, line of sight speed. So when a ghost is looking at you and walking at you, it slowly speeds up. And that's called line of sight speed up. This is normal sanity drain for me standing in the dark for so long. I'm gonna grab 2 more smudge sticks, and I believe I have all my evidence now. Yes, I do. Oh, he turned off the breaker again. So the ghost slowly speeds up. and continues to just get faster and faster and faster to a point where you can't outrun it anymore. So, oh no, yeah, I gotta explain that too. It gets faster and faster until you can't outrun it. So, I thought it was hunting again. So running away from the ghost infinitely is not an option unless it's a Diogen, which that's a whole different situation. So something like this allows you to loop the ghost infinitely without it speeding up, and that way you won't get caught and you can look at the ghost and its behavior a lot more. Let's see. After a hunt ends, all the lights turn off. It kind of looks like the breaker turned off, but it's just the hunt ended, all the lights in the house turned off. When a hunt starts, you actually can't flick any light switches. So when you try to flick a switch, it won't flick. And that's a great way of trying to find out if the ghost is hunting or not when you're on a bigger map. So if... See, here we go. A ghost event. Fuck. Dude. It's really hard to loop when you can't see, so let me just turn that light on. Ghost events turn off a light, and you see the ghost walking at you, but a big indicator between like the hunts and the events is whether or not the ghost is blinking and whether or not a light flicked off. So that's my main indicators of which one is which. If the lights are flickering, most of the time it means it's a hunt, and the one time that it doesn't is if it's a light breaking event. I kind of want to mention like ghost specific behaviors, but it's just so complicated that you really have to play for yourself and watch a bunch of guides to figure it out. So these lights flickering and you hear that door close, that's the front door closing, that tells you whether or not it's actually a hunting ghost. Now this really sucks because it's a crawly ghost, so I can't fucking see. I'm just gonna smudge it and then hide, because I don't fucking know where it is. Thank God for short hunts. Aw, dang breaker. Now when you smudge the ghost, it makes you safe for 5 seconds. The ghost can't kill you, the ghost is actually blinded, and you can walk anywhere you want, you can walk away, you can find a hiding spot. Within 5 seconds, the ghost will not know where you are anymore. If you stay in the same spot, the ghost will wander back to where it last saw you, so do not smudge and expect it to walk away and not come back. It will come back. So, yeah, there are specific ghost things that make it kind of different. I'm not going to try to go over those. That's just too much. Watching my videos where I explain those things as I play, you guys can figure that out. I don't have my last piece of evidence, and that kind of sucks. Oh wait, yes I do. It's a myling. I forgot I got my EMF 5 finally, which is right here. We have a myling right now. I might just try to leave and explain a little bit more later, because I think we're finished. Anyways, as I was saying about the smudging, you're safe for 5 seconds, and the ghost will wander away, and then it will wander back, and essentially you have to escape it within its certain hunt duration. Right now we're on short hunts, which is like 20 seconds or something like that, 15. It's not long at all. You just have to get away within that time, and then when the ghost disappears and the lights turn off, you're safe. You're safe for 25 seconds if you didn't smudge the ghost. You're safe for 1 minute and 30 seconds if you did smudge the ghost, unless it's a demon, and then you're only safe for 1 minute. So be very careful about that. If you think it's a demon, only expect to be safe for 1 minute, but otherwise you're safe for 1 minute and 30. That's why I could just walk out of the house during that time. It was only like 1 minute after I smudged. Now, when you figure out the ghost type, it's your choice if you want to gather all of this evidence or not. I just happened to get it while I was standing around. It was fairly easy. So it just took pictures of all different pieces of evidence that the ghost is there. It makes a lot of sense which ones you can take pictures of versus videos versus sounds. So obviously, if I'm over here and someone's writing in the book over there, that can't be me. So of course you can get a sound. And EMF 5, obviously you can get a sound. That's not me. Duh. And for the videos, I mean, you see a crucifix burning. I'm sad you can't play these back, but that would have been like way too much demand on the game. Object thrown, nobody touched that. Fire being extinguished, I mean, all of this just makes sense for things that you can gather evidence for. Once you're done, you just click on this pad, left click, the doors close, and it'll send you back to the main lobby. I think we got a perfect game. We got all of our objectives, we got all of our photos, we picked up our bone. Yep, all of this will add up. Perfect investigation bonus right there. That's what tells you whether or not you got a perfect game. Our bonus is 230 times this multiplier here. Everything above the multiplier gets multiplied to actually make a bigger reward depending on your difficulty. Look, we even unlocked some stuff even though I was on a 1 times multiplier. Now this is your end of game screen. If you get the ghost right, obviously it'll tell you the ghost on the bottom there here, and it'll tell you if you got it right at the top on the very first line. So game summary tells you everything that happened during that game, and the detailed stats tell you everything you did, everything the ghost did, the bone location if you couldn't find it. I've forgotten the bone so many times, or I've just like forgotten one objective because I was so worried about the media. So you can hit next, and if you missed anything on your final screen that you wanted to check out, you can click this debriefing tab to go back to it and look at what you missed. So now, once you get money, you can gather all of these other items, and as you level up, you unlock more stuff. Thank goodness for getting higher tier stuff. Now, I have everything the highest I can get to at my current level. You might be curious about these little numbers here and why the level looks like that. The base numbers that you level are 0, or level 1, I believe, through 100 to infinity. The main thing is up to 100. That's when you're done leveling and you can actually reset everything and go back to level 1 and lose all of your items' progress just for the sake of saying that you've done it. So the fact that I have 3 here means I've done it 3 times. Once I get to 4, it'll say 4, everything like that. It's really just for bragging rights and for these little banners and things. So this was level 1, this is level 2, this is level 3, and so on. They're different every single time. You unlock items all over again every single time. So right now I'm just level 65. I'm getting there. Let me go on to my other custom where I enabled all of our cursed objects. We're gonna go back to Tanglewood for this. Let's get back into it. I probably won't actually investigate this one. I have it on Friendly Ghost. Let's go in here and I'll explain all the cursed objects. I'm just gonna leave that out. Our ghost cannot hunt us here, so we can spend as much time as we want playing with these objects and doing funny things. But I'm gonna explain how all these work. Let me start with my easiest object ever, the haunted mirror. So this mirror, and I guess to explain it a little bit better, every cursed object is in its fixed spot on each map. So the haunted mirror will always be here. We have the tarot cards will always be there. Everything always has the same spot on every individual map. So this is where the haunted mirror spawns. You look into the mirror, and when you look into it, it tells you what the ghost room is, which actually... Was that me looking at this door like it's the living room? What? Yeah, it's the living room. Now, every time you look in that mirror, it drains 20% sanity flat. Oh, I'll definitely prestige again. I'm going to. Every time you look in the mirror, it drains 20% sanity. So I looked in it twice. Let's go back and look at my sanity out here. And then, in addition to that 20%, if you look into it for more than 3 seconds, it will continue to drain more and more sanity. I didn't even grab more pills. What am I doing? Now, I don't recommend looking into it for more than 3 seconds unless you want to force a cursed hunt. Now, cursed hunts happen with every cursed object you can cause them, where you break the mirror by looking into it for too long, and that means too long is when your sanity hits 0. That's it. If you look into it for so long that happens, you break the mirror, you can no longer look into it to find the ghost room, and then the ghost hunts you immediately and does a cursed hunt, which is an extra long one. So be very careful of that. Try not to look in the mirror if your sanity is low. My favorite card, or favorite cursed object, are the tarot cards. Now these guys have a random thing happen every time you pull them. It's completely random. I wouldn't call these a safe thing to use at all. There's no way. It's not safe. So every time you pull a card, it's something. The sun restores all my sanity. I have 100% sanity right now. The Wheel of Fortune, there's either a good one, which is green, or a bad one, which is red. The bad one is what we got, so we lost 25% sanity for that. The green one makes you gain 25%. We got a Fool. So a Fool means the card does nothing. Now, if you get a hunt card, which hopefully we get one so I can show you, if you get a hunt card, then every card that you pull while the hunt is happening will be a Fool card. So drop the cards when you get a hunt if you care to use them anymore. Drop all the cards, go back to them after the hunt finishes, or else you're just wasting them. 2 Fool Suns, okay. Oh, we got a good Wheel of Fortune, put us back to 100%. There's the Death card. That immediately triggers a Cursed Hunt. And I believe every time you, like in every map, when you trigger a cursed hunt, every hunt after that one is cursed as well. So they will be extra long hunts for the rest of the game. As long as you're in that same map, you're going to have cursed hunts. So don't mess with them too early. Don't do it like as soon as you walk in unless you feel like messing around. Now the Tower card increases activity in the ghost room for 90 seconds, 60 seconds. They change the tarot cards so often I can't keep track. Yeah, cursed hunts are like longer. They're just a lot longer. There's something you don't really want to mess with if you don't have a safe spot, so be very careful of them. Tower card is the most useless. If you're trying to gather evidence, sure, that's great, but Tower is just, it exists. Got another minus 25% sanity. The Devil is an instant ghost event, so we got airballed. Airball, anytime you touch a ghost event, you lose 10% sanity. Alright, well, we learned something from Furlust. You can't turn on lights when you're holding your tarot cards. Last card is another death card. That would cause another hunt. Now, our tarot cards are burnt up. We used all of them. Sucks. I think there were 3 cards we didn't get, and that is the Hermit. The Hermit traps the ghost into its ghost room for 60 or 90 seconds. It just traps the ghost for a while. The High Priestess card is one that resurrects someone that got killed by the ghost. Now, does that mean that if you pull it, then if nobody's dead, it's worthless? No. Actually, if anybody dies after you pulled that card, then that first person that dies will be resurrected. Now, if you pull 2 of them, and then 2 people die, it will not resurrect both of them. They don't stack on top of each other. You just pull 1. If you pull 2, it's still just you pulled 1. So, sorry. The last tarot card is the Hanged Man. Now, there's like a 1% chance to get the Hanged Man, but it instantly kills you. You just die. If you get a High Priestess and then a Hanged Man, you're fine. But like, if you get the Hanged Man, you're done for. Now, next cursed object, which is very, very simple. This one's the most simple of all the objects, I would think, is the Voodoo Doll. Voodoo Doll is here on Tanglewood. Now, you just right-click while you're holding it. Oh, the ghost is following me. I wonder what kind of ghost this is. And you just right-click. And every time you right-click, it pushes a pin into the Voodoo Doll. And every time it pushes in a pin, you lose 5% sanity, and the ghost interacts with something. Something nearby, you know? So, let's watch. I'm gonna stand right here, and we're gonna see what happens. Now, a weird interaction with the voodoo doll is... Okay, there we go. That might be better. Is that if the ghost is a shade, it can't interact with anything near you, which... That's the hunt one. When it pushes the pin in the heart, it starts a cursed hunt. Same thing as the other ones. Now the rest of your hunts will be cursed, so don't mess with it too early. I definitely touched something that time. And once you've pushed all the pins, you've used up the voodoo doll. You can't do anything with it anymore, sadly. I think I'll do the music box next. The music box is really, really simple. Super, super simple. You pick it up with E, and you right-click. And unfortunately, since my ghost can't hunt, it does nothing for you guys. But it'll play the little sound, Adrift. Now, Adrift will play, you'll hear the ghost start humming. Hello. That's a shadow ghost. The ghost will start humming. Oh, fuck, dude. Keeps breaking my lights. And as you get closer to the ghost, it'll get louder and louder, so you can find the ghost room with the music box, but be very, very careful, because if you get too close to the ghost, it'll instantly start a hunt. Now, if you let the music box finish its song, and you, like, place it on the ground, and the ghost walks into it, it'll do a little ghost event on the music box. It's very cute. It'll do a little ghost event on it. So you can get a video of the ghost event, a picture of the ghost event, and then you can also get a video of the ghost hunting, all from the one cursed object. It's very cool, very nice. So that guy is our music box. Now, don't throw the music box while it's playing, or the ghost will instantly start hunting and the music box breaks. I'm not sure if the music box can be used multiple times. I really never use it. But definitely do not throw it or it'll start that hunt. Now, here's our monkey paw. The monkey paw has many, many uses. There are a lot of different questions you can ask. I believe some of them in the journal is J. In the journal, it explains some of the questions that you can ask. So, I'll try some of them, just because. I wish for sanity. And as you make a wish, its fingers will curl up and you'll lose, one of those 5 fingers. And that just means you have that many wishes left. By the way, any of these objects can be taken out of the house. You just can't use them while you're out of the house. And this wish I just did sets your sanity to 50%. All of them. At everybody. Your whole party is now 50% sanity, and your ghost room got changed. Hi, Naira Whalen. Yeah, losing fingers. Broken. Yeah, and it makes this little funky noise to show that it's activated or not. So, the sanity one can be very useful. There's also, I wish to change the weather. I'm not sure if I can say it that way. Or I wish for sunrise. Okay, specific weather it is. Now that immediately changes your weather. So there's sunrise, there's heavy rain, there's light rain, there's fog, there's clear. You can pick any of those, but you lose another 25% sanity. So if you want the ghost to insta-hunt you, no matter what ghost it is, pick that. Pick that direct order. I wish for sanity. I wish for whatever weather you want. Some of the other things you can do is if you have a party member with you, you can say, I wish for life. And then that party member may or may not come back to life, and you may or may not die for trying to bring them back to life. So be very aware that that will happen. Another wish, I wish to trap the ghost. That immediately closes all doors to the ghost room. Which it also started an event. Our ghost room should have changed, right? And it locks those doors for a minute. I believe the ghost is still in the living room? I don't know. It's somewhere. Not the hallway, so probably still the living room. You can also... I wish for knowledge. This one, I tried not to use first, because now, we are blind and mostly deaf. You can still kind of hear over the radio when your team members talk, but you really can't hear anything else, and you can't fucking see in the dark. Like, if the lights are on, you can kind of see, but you can't see in the dark at all. This is terrible. But, look at what happened. You get knowledge. So we've learned here it's not a dots ghost, so it crossed out all of those dots ghosts. That's all we learned, though. A lot of times, if you're down to a couple ghosts, you won't get anything useful. So be very careful when you're using this one. Try to use it only at the very end if you're really stuck on what ghost it might be. And try not to use it if you're alone. You probably won't. You won't be able to loop the ghost. You won't be able to do anything. I guess I should have used my last example earlier. I wish to see the ghost. Oh, I believe it just evented on me. Alright, see, there's a little ghost event. And then when you do that, it immediately starts hunting after that too. So as you can see, all the lights turned off. That was it. That was it doing its hunt. Our next cursed object is the summoning circle. Now this one you have to have at least 80% sanity for. So if you're under 80, you may end up just instantly causing a hunt and not getting an event with it. Now all of these cursed objects, you can get like a little event or something good out of it as well as a hunt out of it. So make sure you're above 80% to get that curse or get that ghost event before it hunts you. Now, you light each one, and each one takes away like 16% sanity. And then once you finish it, a ghost event starts. You take a picture, you take a video, and then it starts a hunt. So that hunt is a cursed hunt. You have to run away. You can get a video of the ghost while you run and such. But now your sanity is at like 0. You're at pretty much 0 when you do this. So if you feel like being crazy, you can do it. You can get a lot of video evidence, a lot of money out of it. It's really fun, especially with friends if you want to troll them. So that's the gist of the summoning circle. And the last cursed object I'll show you guys is the Ouija board. So this guy, you have to pick up and right click, or if it's down, you can left click it. And you can ask this guy pretty much every question ever. I'll show you guys the actual options to ask. Now, if you have your text option, like if you don't have a microphone, when you pick up the Ouija board and you right click, you can ask any of these questions that you want. So, information are the ones that will cost you sanity. Be very careful with these. So like, I think where's the bone doesn't cost you that much, but asking where are you costs you 50% sanity. So be very careful with these. You can ask how sane you are, it'll answer. You can ask these questions. Hide and seek will instantly cause a hunt and break the board, so don't do that unless you feel like it. How old are you? It'll just tell you how old it is. And then make sure before you do anything else, before you walk away from the board, even if you triggered a hunt, do not leave the board without saying goodbye. Okay? Always say goodbye. Because if you do not say goodbye and you walk away from the board will break and cause a hunt whether or not you wanted to. So, how old are you? And it will tell you how old it is. Now this is very useful. It's 20 years old. If you have a Thay and you're sitting in the Thay's ghost room for a while and you're not sure what kind of ghost it is, you can always ask its age again and see if the ghost aged over time. If it's a Thay, it does age over time. That's a very specific Thay thing. As I was mentioning earlier, every ghost has specific things that it does. Specific characteristics that determine what ghost it is. Now, where is the bone? Where is the bone? Oh, I don't have sanity. No. If you don't have enough sanity to ask a question, the board breaks and immediately causes a cursed hunt. So I wanted to know where my bone was, but whatever. And now the board is unusable. You can't do anything with it. Cursed object dead. Excuse me. Excuse me. That's just a ghost event. All the doors slammed. All the lights turned off. So that's just a ghost event. Need to be more scared if the lights just start flickering. That's when it's a hunt. That's when you're in danger. I believe I did everything. I guess I'll go over a few of the ghost abilities that you might want to look out for. I will link the Phasmophobia cheat sheet that is very helpful and shows... Oh, we actually had a mimic. Damn. There's a cheat sheet that gives you a good summary on every single ghost and every single specific trait that it has. So we'll go into our little ghost journal at the same time, and it's listed in the same order. So every single ghost has something different. The spirit is smudged for extra long. The wraith cannot step through salt. That cheat sheet, feel free to open that. On PC, you can actually click on the little audio thing by the ghost speed, and you can see, like these, that's regular ghost speed. And you can also see whether or not it has line of sight speed up. It shows a little like eyeball, or it shows an eyeball with a cross. It shows what sanity it hunts at. It explains everything. It's the same thing as the journal in game, except a lot more thorough. So much more thorough. Once you get to being able to make customs and stuff, you can do whatever you want with all of these settings. You can turn off flashlights for a higher custom. You can turn off sprinting. You can change literally everything. So, do whatever you want. Play the game however you want. Use whatever items you want. Whatever tier of items you want. Play with random people. Unless they're hackers, and then that's not very fun. Do all of these objectives over here. Do all of these objectives on these clipboards. Play the game, have fun. Don't be too scared, because this game is not nearly as scary as people make it out to be. I mean, now that they added those door slams, I guess they are, but other than that, the game's not so scary. That's like my whole summary of the game. Thank you guys for listening to me and learning about the game with me. I really appreciate you guys watching and hanging out and playing the game with me sometimes. It's fun to kind of become an expert at the game, because the only thing that makes the game scary is your lack of knowledge. Thanks for watching!